There are 3 car hacks sitting right in front of every driver in America that cost almost nothing, take minutes to learn, and save hundreds of dollars every single year. Most people ignore them completely, not because they are complicated, not because they require special skills. They ignore them because dealerships and quick lube shops have convinced us that anything involving our cars requires a professional with a scan tool and a $150 minimum charge. After 20 years as a mechanic, I have watched customers hand over their credit cards for things they could have done themselves in the time it took to drive to the shop. I am not talking about oil changes or brake jobs. I am talking about 3 specific hacks that anyone can do that requires 0 mechanical knowledge, and that will put real money back in your pocket starting this week. Hack number 1 is the one I wish someone had told me when I started driving. It would have saved me thousands before I even knew what I was doing wrong. Today, I am breaking down my 3 most valuable cheap car hacks that every driver ignores but mechanics swear by. These are not internet gimmicks. These are the things we actually do for our own family. Let us get into it. Hack number 1. Own a $30 OBD2 scanner and never pay for diagnostics again. This is the single best investment any car owner can make, and almost nobody does it. For less than the cost of a tank of gas, you can eliminate diagnostic fees forever. That check engine light just came on. Your heart sinks. You start calculating how much this is going to cost. You drive to the shop, hand over your keys, and wait while someone plugs a device into a port under your dashboard. 10 minutes later, they tell you what the code means. That will be $100 for the diagnostic, and that is before they even touch the actual problem. Here's what they are not telling you. That same device, the one they just charged you $100 to use, costs between $20 and $50 on Amazon, and you can use it yourself right now in your own driveway. Every car built since 1996 has a standardized port called an OBD2 connector. It is usually located under your dashboard, near the steering column on the driver's side. It is a trapezoid-shaped port that accepts a universal plug. When you connect a scanner to this port, it reads the same codes the shop reads. Same information, same diagnostic process. The difference is you own the tool and can use it unlimited times for free. I had a customer last year who came in 3 times in 4 months for check engine light readings. Each visit cost her $85 at a different shop before she finally ended up with me. Total spent on diagnostics alone, $255. I showed her a basic OBD2 scanner on my phone. She bought one for $28 and texted me the next week saying she could not believe she had been paying for this her entire adult life. Here's how simple this actually is. You plug the scanner into the port. On basic scanners, you turn the ignition to the on position without starting the engine. The device reads the stored codes and displays them on a screen. A code like P0420 tells you there is an issue with your catalytic converter efficiency. P0171 means the engine is running lean on fuel. P0300 indicates random misfires. Now, the scanner does not tell you exactly what is wrong. It tells you where to look. But that information alone is worth gold, because now you can Google that specific code plus your car's make and model and find out the 3 or 4 most common causes. Half the time, it is something simple. Loose gas cap, failing oxygen sensor, dirty mass airflow sensor. Things that cost $50 to fix instead of the $800 repair the shop was about to quote you. Even better, AutoZone, O'Reilly, and most major auto parts stores will scan your codes for free as part of their Fix Finder service. But here's the thing. Their goal is to sell you parts, not necessarily the right parts. When you own your own scanner, you can research the code calmly at home, watch a YouTube video specific to your car, and make an informed decision about whether it is a do-it-yourself fix, a shop job, or something you can safely ignore for now. The diagnostic capability alone justifies the purchase, but these scanners do more. You can clear codes after making a repair to turn off the check engine light yourself. You can check if your car will pass emissions before wasting time at the inspection station. Some scanners show live data like coolant temperature, fuel trim, and oxygen sensor readings, which helps you spot problems before they become expensive. There are two main types of scanners. Corded units with built-in screens are simple, reliable, and work without a phone. Bluetooth scanners connect to an app on your smartphone and often provide more detailed information, including repair guides and cost estimates. Both work. The Bluetooth versions are slightly more user-friendly for beginners. Car and Driver recently tested a range of them and found that even budget options performed well for basic code reading. The bottom line on this hack, a $30 purchase eliminates a $100 fee every time your check engine light comes on. If your car triggers that light twice a year, which is typical for older vehicles, you have saved $170 annually after the first year. Over 5 years, that is $850 back in your pocket. And you have the peace of mind that comes from actually understanding what your car is telling you, instead of being at the mercy of whoever is behind the service counter. Hack number 2, costs absolutely nothing. Takes less than 5 minutes once a month, and according to the US Department of Energy can save you 3% on gas plus hundreds in avoided tire wear. Almost nobody does it correctly. I'm talking about tire pressure, not whether your tires are flat, whether they're at the right pressure. Here's what happens when your tires are underinflated, even by a little. The sidewalls flex more than they're designed to. This creates heat, which degrades the rubber. It also increases rolling resistance, which means your engine works harder to move the same distance. The Department of Energy found that for every 1 pounds per square inch drop in pressure across all 4 tires, your gas mileage decreases by 0.2%. That sounds small until you do the math. The average American drives 13,500 miles per year. At today's gas prices, around $3.50 per gallon, and average fuel economy of 25 miles per gallon, that's roughly $1,890 in annual fuel costs. If your tires are 10 pounds per square inch low, which is shockingly common, you're losing about 2% fuel efficiency. That's $38 per year in wasted gas. If they're 25% underinflated, which NHTSA found in 27% of vehicles surveyed, you're looking at up to 10% efficiency loss at lower speeds. Now we're talking real money. But here's the bigger issue. Underinflated tires wear out faster. The edges of the tread get ground down because the tire's contact patch is distorted. Industry estimates suggest that underinflation increases tire wear costs by about 12%. If you're spending $600 on a set of tires every 50,000 miles, that's $72 extra you're spending just because you didn't check the pressure. Add it up. You're potentially losing $150 to $200 per year between extra fuel consumption and premature tire wear for doing nothing except not checking a gauge once a month. Now you might be thinking, but I have a tire pressure monitoring system. That light on my dash tells me if there's a problem. Here's the catch. TPM is legally required to warn you when a tire is 25% below the recommended pressure. By the time that light comes on, you've already been driving on significantly underinflated tires for who knows how long. The system is designed to prevent blowouts, not optimize fuel economy. The correct tire pressure for your vehicle is not the number printed on the tire sidewall. That number is the maximum pressure the tire can handle. Your actual recommended pressure is printed on a sticker inside the driver's door jamb and in your owner's manual. For most passenger vehicles, it's somewhere between 30 and 35 pounds per square inch. Here's the 5-minute monthly routine that pays you back every time you do it. Buy a digital tire pressure gauge. They cost $10 to $15 at any auto parts store and are far more accurate than the old pencil-style gauges. Check your tires when they're cold, meaning you have not driven more than a mile or two. Warm tires give artificially high readings because air expands with heat. Remove the valve cap, press the gauge firmly onto the valve stem, and read the number. If it's low, add air at any gas station. Most have free air pumps, and some even have automatic inflators that stop at your target pressure. That's it. 5 minutes, 12 times a year, equals 1 hour of effort total that saves you $200 or more annually. It also makes your car safer because properly inflated tires stop shorter and handle better. And it's better for the environment because you're burning less fuel. For bonus points, keep a portable tire inflator in your trunk. They cost $30 to $50. Plug into your 12-volt outlet and let you add air anywhere. If you notice a slow leak, you can top off at home instead of driving to a gas station on a dangerously low tire. The bottom line on this hack, checking tire pressure monthly, is the highest return on investment maintenance task that exists. It costs nothing. It takes almost no time, and it delivers measurable savings in fuel and tire life. The only reason people don't do it is because it feels insignificant. But insignificant things done consistently become significant results. Hack number 3, replace your own cabin air filter. The $70 savings hiding behind your glove box. This maintenance task is what shops charge the most obscene markup for, relative to how easy it actually is. It requires no tools, takes under 10 minutes, and saves you $50 to $70 every single time. Your cabin air filter is a rectangular piece of pleated material that cleans the air coming through your vents. Every time you run your heater, air conditioner, or just the fan, outside air passes through this filter before entering the passenger compartment. It traps pollen, dust, pollution, and debris. Over time, it gets clogged, which restricts airflow and makes your climate system work harder. It also makes the inside of your car smell stale or musty. Most manufacturers recommend replacing the cabin air filter every 15,000 to 30,000 miles, or once a year, whichever comes first. If you drive in dusty conditions, near construction, or in areas with heavy pollen, you might need to change it more often. Here's the scam. Quick lube shops and dealerships routinely charge $80 to $120 for cabin air filter replacement. The labor charge alone is often $30 to $50. A shop quoted one of my customers $95 for this job on a Toyota Camry. The filter itself costs $15 to $25 at any auto parts store. The job took her less than 10 minutes after watching one YouTube video. The reason shops get away with this markup is because most people have no idea the cabin air filter even exists, let alone that it is designed to be owner replaceable. Manufacturers intentionally made this an accessible component, so you do not need a mechanic. In the vast majority of vehicles, the cabin air filter lives behind the glove box. Here's the general process, though you should look up your specific make and model for exact steps. First, empty your glove box. Second, find the stops or latches that hold the glove box in place. Usually there are tabs on each side that you squeeze or push inward. Sometimes there is a damper arm that you unhook. Third, let the glove box drop down. Do not force anything. If it is not releasing, you are missing a latch. Fourth, behind the glove box you will see a rectangular housing with a cover. Remove the cover. It usually just unclips. Fifth, slide out the old filter and look at it. If it is gray, brown, or clogged with debris, it definitely needed replacing. Sixth, note which direction the airflow arrow points on the old filter. Install the new filter with the arrow pointing the same way. 7th, replace the cover. Push the glove box back into position and click everything back into place. That is it. The first time might take 15 minutes because you are being careful. Every time after that, it is a 5-minute job. This is a very quick win. If you want to save even more, buy cabin air filters in 2-packs online. Amazon, Rock Auto, and other retailers often sell them for $12 to $18 for 2 filters. At that price, you are paying $6 to $9 per filter versus $95 at the dealer. That is an 85% discount for something you can do while waiting for your coffee to brew. Some vehicles have the cabin air filter under the dashboard on the passenger side or accessible from the engine compartment near the windshield cowl. Check your owner's manual, or a quick internet search will tell you exactly where yours is located. While you are at it, learn to replace your engine air filter too. Same principle, similar savings. The engine air filter is usually in a plastic box near the top of the engine with clips holding the lid on. Open the clips, pull out the old filter, drop in the new one, and close the clips. Another $30 to $50 saved for 5 minutes of work on the engine. The bottom line on this hack is simple. Cabin air filter replacement is the most overpriced service at most shops relative to its actual difficulty. Learning to do it yourself saves $70 per filter change if you keep your car for 10 years and change the filter annually as recommended. That is $700 in your pocket instead of theirs, for a task so simple that children could do it if they could reach the glove box. So there it is. 3 car hacks that the average driver completely ignores, but that mechanics use religiously on their own vehicles. A $30 OBD2 scanner that eliminates diagnostic fees forever and lets you understand what your car is actually telling you instead of guessing or panicking. A monthly 5-minute tire pressure check that costs nothing and returns $200 or more per year in fuel savings and extended tire life, according to the Department of Energy and NHTSA data. And cabin air filter replacement. The 10-minute job hiding behind your glove box that shops charge $95 for, but costs you $15 and 0 tools to do yourself. Combined, these 3 hacks can easily save you $400 to $500 per year. That is not theoretical. That is math, based on what shops actually charge versus what these tasks actually cost when you do them yourself. None of this requires being a gearhead. None of it requires special equipment. None of it risks damaging your car if you follow basic instructions. These are the maintenance equivalents of changing your own light bulbs instead of calling an electrician. The automotive industry has spent decades convincing us that cars are too complicated for regular people to understand. And in some ways, that is true. Modern vehicles have sophisticated computers, complex emission systems, and hybrid technology that genuinely requires professional expertise. But the industry has also used that complexity as cover to charge professional prices for tasks that a middle schooler could handle. Knowing the difference is where the savings live. Now, if you want to know which used cars will actually last you 300,000 miles without emptying your bank account, I did a whole video on the sport utility vehicles mechanics buy for their own families. It is right here. Those are the vehicles where these maintenance hacks pay off the most because you are keeping them long enough to see the savings compound. 20 years of watching cars come and go, like if this helped. Subscribe for more car advice the shops hope you never hear. Drive safe. Keep more of your money. I will see you in the next one.